in Tema West, and then they gave me a landslide victory in the primaries. And indeed, we have no doubts that going into the 2024 elections, we are going to win the Tema West, both in the parliamentary and the presidential. You know, Tema has been a very difficult seat over the years. The gaps used to be wide. Some in the years past, sometimes it's 14,000, 15,000 and all that. Okay. But in the last elections, we brought it to 2,000, which was very remarkable. And we believe that if there is any time for Tema West to win the seat, it is this 2024 elections. And we have no doubt, we are very confident. We are not being complacent, but we are very confident that we are going to win the seat this time around.
2024 is the best time for the NDC in Tema West to win the seat.
That is so, that is so, that is so.
What is working now that has failed many years ago? Because you attempted in 2012. You said 2016? Was it 2016?
Yes,
2016 you were a candidate.
In Tema West,
Yes, you were the candidate you contested on the ticket of the NDC.
Yeah.
It didn't go as planned.
Right.
You are back in 2024. You are saying 2024 is the best time.
Yeah.
What condition has changed that makes you confident that you get the seat this time around?
Thank you, Senna. Let me begin by extending warm greetings to His Excellency, the former president and the incoming president to be sworn in 2025, as well as his running mate, Prof. And let me say good morning to them. Let me also extend greetings to the people of Tema West, who are going to give me the mandate this time around. And like you rightly asked, over the years, it has been a difficult seat, you know. Candidates have tried, the gaps have been wide, but over the years we have tried to close the gap. But what makes me so confident that this time around we are going to win is the dynamics on the ground. Number one, indeed, this government has failed the people of Ghana. You know, this government is one that took office at the backdrop of an avalanche of promises that they are going to deliver to the people of Ghana. Indeed, they promised heaven on earth to the extent that they promised that they were going to give $1 million every year to each constituency, which never materialized. They have promised that we're going to do one constituency. Let me say, the 1-to-1 is a lot. one village, one dam, and all those promises, an avalanche of them. But you can appreciate that they have not been able to deliver on their promises. Indeed, the economy is in crisis. This country is in distress. If you look at our cedi cannot be tamed. It's depreciating every day. If you look at inflation, if inflation is on the ascendancy, food prices are going up every day, you understand? If you look at the issue of unemployment, it's all over the place. The youth, you know, in my pursuit, in this agenda, going into these elections, I move around a lot, and I see a lot of the youth stranded. They have no hope. They are stranded. They don't know what to do because there are no opportunities for them. There's so much unemployment in the system, especially in Tema. Of course, the unemployment rate now is about 14.7. And Tema, we have our fair share of the unemployment rate. Because you see,
it's one of the places that you do not expect unemployment, because it's a whole industrial enclave.
Yeah, so Tema is an industrial city, and a lot of people move in there to look for jobs and all that. It is expected that being an industrial city, indeed the #1 industrial city that was put up by Kwame Nkrumah, you know, being an industrial city, it is expected that jobs will be available and all that, but that is not the situation on the ground, you know, and a lot of the things have contributed to this, especially those of us in Tema. For instance, if you go to the harbor, which is the main source of revenue for a lot of the residents in Tema, you know, about 80% of the people in Tema, their jobs are connected to the harbor, because we have cargo truck drivers, we have clearing agents, we have importers, we have exporters. We have so many people who live in Tema whose jobs are connected to the harbor. But in view of the killer taxes and the high tariffs at the harbor is virtually collapsing. Indeed, if you import a car from outside, you have to pay as many as 24 taxes. Apart from that, doing business at the harbor is very expensive in view of the tariffs and order you need to pay. So now what is happening is that a lot of the vessels are rather resorting to our neighboring countries, Togo and Cote d'Ivoire and all that, because it's relatively cheaper to do business there. And what is happening is that the traffic of vessels that need to troop into Tema, they are not forthcoming. And once the vessels are not coming, businesses are not getting work to do. And this has resulted in a lot of people being laid off. Those whose jobs are connected to the harbor being laid off. Recently, I joined a group for a walk. And I had a conversation with one of the ladies. I tried to engage her to find out what she does. And she told me that, oh, she's a clearing agent, but now she's home. And I asked her why. She said, oh, because jobs were not coming, they had to lay them off, and now she's home. So she's trying to find something else to do. I visited another friend who is into clearing agent at the harbor. And he told me that this time they work even more in Togo than in Ghana. So in the course of the week, a lot of his workers go to Togo because that is where they clear their goods from, because most of their customers now use other ports because it's so expensive. The tariffs at the Tema port is expensive, and therefore, business has gone down, and it's affecting. And as a matter of fact, once businesses are affected, it affects the pockets of everybody in Tema, And these days, one funny thing is that if you engage the young girls, they'll tell you that, oh, the Tema boys, this time they are not paying. And we tell them that they are not paying because, Charlie, the jobs have been run down, So apart from that, there are a lot of things that have happened that makes the ground very fertile for us to win the seat this time around, I think that for me as a candidate, my strength is the Tema Main area. I was born in Committee 2 BBC. That is where I grew up. That's why I attended school. They referred to me as the homeboy. And the homeboy because, I'm a local boy, born and bred, grew up, attended school, played football, became a teacher, before I even went to law school. And so if you look at the dynamics in Tema West has two main areas. We have the periphery and then the Tema Main. The Tema Main is usually dominated by the MPP, and then the periphery is dominated by the NDC. So we needed a candidate who will be able to break that jinx in Tema Main to ensure that once that jinx is broken, then we'll be making a headway to win the seat. And indeed, from the fact that I come from this area where the party is weak, and that happens to be where my strength is as a candidate.
The Tema Main.
The Tema Main, yes, because I was born at Committee 2, I attended school there. I've lived at Committee 5 for over 10 years. Now I live at Committee 3. And Tema Main is made up of Committee 2, Committee 3, and Committee 5. You understand? So the dynamics are such that we are ahead of them, definitely, and we are going to win the seat this time around. Of course, you also appreciate that the MPP has dominated the area for all these years, almost 28 years now. But the fact of the matter is that there is nothing to show for it. Indeed, our incumbent MP, what he went to do in Parliament? He went to chew the ballot paper. And that has been an embarrassment to the people of Tema because it is expected that such a dignified position and you go and steal a ballot paper and chew it in the glare of cameras and all over the world. It's very embarrassing. Sometimes I feel embarrassed to be a person coming from Tema West in view of the conduct of the MP, you understand? And that is one of the reasons why he decided not to show up this time around to come and contest, because he has disappointed the people of Tema. There is nothing to show for whatever he has done, and therefore the grounds is fertile for lawyer James Enu. Indeed, there is a lot too that I've been doing for the people of Tema West. Now, being a lawyer, I was called to the bar in 2004. I have practiced law for the past 20 years. One of the things that I've been able to do tremendously is bringing free or pro bono legal services to the doorstep of everybody in Tema West. Indeed, my law office is the one that if you even don't have money and you walk to my office and you have a genuine case, we will take up the matter and help you, because we know that sometimes people have very good cases, but they cannot afford the services of a lawyer. So one of the things I've done tremendously over the years is to provide pro bono legal services to the residents of Tema West. Apart from that, you know, we have tried to engage in a lot of social intervention programs and activities. We have done exercises to train the youth to acquire skills, even the women to do what we call fascinators and turbans and all that. Some of them have started trading in those items. Indeed, just recently, there is a polyclinic in Tema, Community 2 to be specific. And what you should appreciate is that Tema, the major hospital there is the Tema General Hospital. But Tema General Hospital is loaded, it's overcrowded, there's so much pressure there. You go there and then you see patients lying on the floor. I remember just recently there was an incident that went viral at the children's unit where they could not get oxygen concentrators and all that, and some children had to pass out and all that, you know. So hospital availability of health services is also very crucial in Tema, because Tema General Hospital is overloaded, is overcrowded. So the most important thing is to look for options, alternatives. You know, there is the Regional Maritime Hospital, or the International Maritime Hospital, sorry, which was put up by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. State-of-the-art hospital, very fantastic, beautiful. You can compare it to any hospital in the whole world. But of course, this is a private hospital that is not easy to afford. Even though you can get all the services, because it is private, it is quite expensive. So for me, the best way to go is to ensure that we resource the polyclinic. And my brother, it is unfortunate that if you go to the polyclinic now, it has been abandoned. Indeed, it is infested with cockroaches and whatever you can think of. Just recently, we heard that they were doing some, how do you call it, infestation to clear the place and all that, because the place was very bad. And the last time I went there, we went into the theater, and there was no bed. There was no theater bed. So I was able to liaise with an NGO.
No bed at the theater.
No bed, my brother. No bed at the theater.
Tema General Hospital?
No, the polyclinic.
The Tema Polyclinic?
Exactly.
Okay, there was no bed at the
theater, because it's been abandoned, even though they are working, but there are no facilities. The place has been run down virtually.
Okay.
So I was able to liaise with an NGO called Crystal Ladies Association. I happen to be their patron. We were able to raise funds, and we have provided a theater bed, state-of-the-art, that we brought from outside, and we have presented it to the Tema Polyclinic Community 2 with some other facilities that we provided to the hospital. You know, and indeed, this hospital is a strategic one that, if by the grace of God I become the MP, will lobby for it to be refurbished and upgraded, because that will be a support for Tema General Hospital. You understand?
The polyclinic.
Exactly. But it looks like it has been abandoned. So that is one of the things that is on my heart. Now, if you go across the length and breadth of Tema West, you appreciate that a lot of our markets are dilapidated. For instance, there is one at Community 2. We call it the Community 2 Market. My brother, if you go there, the iron rods in the building is almost running down, it's almost crumbling down, you know. And you see our mothers and our sisters selling under such dangerous conditions, and nobody seems to care about it. You understand? Recently, there was a rainstorm, and all the roof issues came off. And it was very dangerous. The lucky thing was that it was in the night, so we didn't suffer any injuries and all that. But the place is a trap. Anything can happen at any time, but our mothers are there. Recently, I visited them to have a conversation with them, and we are taking steps to see what we can do to help the situation. If you look at we have also Abrofo Market, is the same condition. We look at the Tespo Market, which is on the Spintex Road. The condition is very bad. They don't have toilet facilities. You go to the market, and there are drainage lines, sewage lines running through the market with some pungent smell and all that all over the place, which is not good for a market, because this is where we sell food. You understand? If you go to a place like Ajay-Kojo, our roads are so terrible. Since this government took over the reins of power, they have not done anything at Ajay-Kojo. The roads are such that, my brother, if you're at Ajay-Kojo and it rains, you'll be trapped, because you can't come back. You have to wait for the rains to subside. and for the pool of water that will be gathered along the line to go down before you can make your way back, you know. So the situation is quite terrible. We in the NDC believe that it is time for us to take over the reins of Tema West and make sure that we bring some development to the people of Tema. Of course, like I mentioned, during Mohammed's time, we did the International Maritime Hospital. Apart from that, you know, NDC was behind the NPS expansion, the Harbour expansion project, one of the major things that we brought to Tema. We also benefited from the E-block that the government did for Tema at Lashibi.
Okay.
Now, it is also important to note that in our manifesto as a party, when we assume the reins of power in 2025, one of the things we are going to do is to revamp the Tema Oil Refinery to be able to process domestic crude. We are going to revamp VACO. VACO used to be a huge institution that employed so many thousands of people. My father worked at VACO, so I appreciate where I'm coming from. And we at the time we had a situation where they were running 3-shift system, like the 24-hour economy that has been promised by John Dramani Mahama. You know, they were running a 3-shift system, and it employed thousands of people in Tema. Now VACO has run down, so we are going to revamp VACO. Indeed, you also appreciate this dry dock at the Tema Harbour. Dry dock 2 is not functioning. The NDC is going to revamp the dry dock. We are also looking at bringing back the Black Star Line in another form. You know, we used to have Black Star Line, which employed a lot of seafarers. But what has happened is that, of course, Black Star Line has collapsed. But when the NDC assumes power in 2025, we're going to form a new company that is in our manifesto to ensure that we bring back a state asset that can engage seafarers and make sure that that sector also can get employment for people.
You certainly have a lot to sell to the people in terms of what you do. Before I come to how the response is, because you just described the situation of Tema. Tema used to be one of the places where you at least know that at least, if not, you get some labor-intensive job to do and make some small money. If that is becoming a place where jobs are now hard to come by, then I'm wondering the kind of dejection you are confronting as a politician if you're selling a message. There's Lydia, but a few things. Lydia but they're talking about the market we're talking about. First, let me find Sechi Sensen. As for the Community 2 market, I can attest to that. It is really not a habitable place. Same as the European markets, all in Tema Community 2. Lydia Kam agrees, same applies to Tespo markets. Very appalling. So a few markets in your area, that means a lot of work to be done. But I was talking about the issue of when you have conversations with people, are they ready to listen to you? Or do they come across with that same refrain that we hear nowadays? Oh, this is what all of you do. You come and you see all these things, and then when we vote for you, don't do anything. Are they receptive? Or is it difficult to convince people?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are disappointed in this government and also in our MPs, especially those coming from Tema West. And therefore, if you go around the communities, what the people tell you is that, oh, we only see you during election times. After we vote for you, we don't see you again. We don't see you helping us bring solutions to the problems that we have in our communities. And some of them have become adamant and you know, they are not forthcoming. But I think that we have been able to speak to them. That is why we need a change. Because for 28 years, we have voted for one side. We have voted for one party. If these are the complaints that we are not getting the benefits, then it means that we need change. And I've been able to speak to them and convince them that that is the reason why Lawyer James Enu has come on board, to bring a new face and style to leadership in Tema West, a leadership that will be characterized with availability, accessibility, a leadership that will be consensus building, a leadership that will be resource-oriented, solution-oriented to bring relief to the people. And I think that the people have appreciated our message and they are buying into it because I have made them understand that I have come to make sure that we bring changes. And one of the things I'm going to do is to make sure that we embark on regular town hall meetings. Okay. Now, what is happening is at Tema West, we have 11 wards, or 11 electoral areas that constitute Tema West. Now, out of these 11 electoral areas, if even every month you are able to do a town hall meeting with one electoral area, what it means is that within a year you would have met all your constituents. And that is the strategy that lawyer James Enu is going to employ, to make sure that at least every month I'll have a town hall meeting with an electoral area, to be able to get the first-hand information and interact with the people who know their problems and know their thinking and all that. Of course, one of the things too that I've come to identify is that a lot of the time, especially in Tema West, our MPs don't interact and go for assembly meetings. You know, when you become an MP, you become an automatic member of the assembly. And it's important that you also go for these assembly meetings, because that is where the issues are discussed. That is where the problems in the community are discussed. So once you become part of those meetings, you get first-hand information of things that are going on in your constituency. But unfortunately, indeed, the information I've gathered is that even our incumbent MP has never attended assembly meetings before throughout the last tenure. He has never attended, and that is very unfortunate, because the assemblies, they are the grassroots. They are close to the people. They know the problems that confront the people. So lawyer will ensure that I attend regular meetings to have first-hand information. Apart from that, I'm going to work closely with the assembly members, because we always say that as for MPs, we are not development agents, but the assembly members are development agents. So we need to partner with them and make sure that we bring development to our people within the communities. And one thing that is also striking, you know, this matter, this morning I heard you in connection with the state capture, sale of SNIT hotels, and Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa made fantastic submissions on the matter. And I think that I agree with him 100%. For me, the whole transaction smacks with conflict of interest, is smacked with bad faith and all that. And I think that that is not the way to go as a country. I believe that a cabinet minister, for that matter, you know, should be able to back out from such transaction. And I'm surprised that the president has not even taken any step, you know, to halt the whole process. It's very, very unfortunate, you know, because I don't really understand why this should be happening at this point in time. And my brother, this cuts across the country. It's not only regarding state assets, or not. Even state lands and public lands are being captured left, right, center, all over the place. Look at the Achimota lands. We were all here when we got to know that somebody has willed it in his will. John the late, you know about that. And then look at cantonments. Now, if you go to cantonments, there is a lot of development going there. State property, state lands being sold out to party cronies and MPP faithfuls and all that, all over the place. And this is being done under the guise of redevelopment. It's very, very unfortunate. Come to Tema. Tema, the Ramsar site is gone because ministers, government appointees, all of them have lands within the Ramsar site. It's very unfortunate. And you know, the Ramsar site is under the control of Wildlife and Forestry Commission and all that. And you'll be surprised that all these lands have been taken over by government appointees, cronies of this party. They've captured, and you know what is happening now? Now, if you go to, you know, the wildlife, the Ramsar site is part of the Sakumo Lagoon. And now what is happening is that the Sakumo Lagoon is gone. It used to be a source of livelihood for the people of Sakumono village, because they have a fishing community there, and they embark on their fishing activities and all that in the lagoon. Now, because of development in the Ramsar site, the lagoon is gone, the water is gone, and therefore their livelihood is gone, you understand? And of course, apart from fishing in the lagoon, they also used to do offshore fishing, or is it onshore or offshore fishing, which means they don't really go deep. But of course, because of the redevelopment, the development, expansion of the harbor and all that, their activities have been hampered. But I believe these are issues that as a country we should be looking at, because the fishing community in Sakumono, their livelihood is gone. I believe that even the companies that have been located around this area, they should look into these matters and see how best they can help these communities. They can even make sure that they pick some of the youth from these communities, train them, and even give them work to do as part of their social corporate or corporate social responsibility towards the community, because it's also part of the activities that the people have lost their livelihood. But the point is that these Ramsar sites have been sold. I know ministers and government appointees who have, taken over lands within
this Ramsar site.
Yes, in this Ramsar site, And believe you me, this is across board. If you go to Tema now, TDC is selling the markets. TDC is selling the football parks. TDC is selling any little space anywhere. Is selling roads. Is selling access roads to people's house. Any space in any corner. And believe you me, my brother, and this thing is being done at a very fast rate, as if they know they are coming out of
Tema Development.
Yes, Tema Development Corporation. Now it's TDC Ghana Limited.
Okay.
And it is very unfortunate that even whilst we are heading towards election, the speed at which they are doing this is alarming. Selling everywhere. Let me give you an example. I was a footballer before. I played coach in Tema, Abiasi Babies, for so many years. There is a park called Mighty Oceans Park that we used to play football there. Recently, they have sold Mighty Oceans Park. And the investigations we have done shows that the former finance minister is connected to this sale because it's a company that has acquired. And you know that in Tema, in TDC, the director, the MD, is Alice Oforiatta, who is related to the finance minister. You understand? And there is information or there's allegation that that football park that we used to play on growing up as children have been sold out. Now the place have been walled. And it's unfortunate. There is, yes, they are developing it. And there is a children's park behind Tema Secondary School. That one too has been sold. Recently, the community rose up against it, did a press conference. As I speak to you now, Community 5 Market has been sold for development.
Community 5 Market?
Yes, the market which has been there for decades. That one too, there was a press conference on it led by the assembly member of the area, and they spoke hardly against it. And now the people cannot come and develop the place. In my neighborhood where I live, Community 3, on the Aviation Road, close to the PV or being runabout, just recently we had rumor. There is a space in front of my house where we play football. We do on the stretch where I live. There are 3 churches there. There is Global Evangelical Church, there is SDA Church, and there is Amazing Grace Church, all along the same road. And there is a community. And then we have this park. This is the park that the youth play football on. This is the park that we have our funerals. This is the park that when the churches have programs, sometimes they park their cars there, they do their crusades, they will do. It's a social, it has become a public place of access, Recently, we heard rumors that TDC want to sell. But when I heard it, it was laughable to me because they tried to sell it before, and then we stopped it. Indeed, VRA has a quarters right there. So VRA also intervened, and we stopped the sale. So I was surprised that it has come up again, that now they want to go ahead and sell it again, when the first one was rescinded based on the concerns that we raised. And then all of a sudden, one day we were there, that we saw a Toyota Land Cruiser with a motorcade come to park. This is about less than a week matter that I'm talking about. Okay. A Toyota Land Cruiser with a motorcade came to park on the land, came to survey the place and all that. The following day in the night, around 12 midnight, series of trucks with sand and stone and all that. This is less than 1 week ago. They came to dump it on the side. And the information we are getting that the place has been sold to a developer. Obviously, it's somebody in government. But I want to take this opportunity to say that we are not going to allow that to happen. Me as a lawyer, indeed, the community has engaged me. We have petitioned TDC, we have petitioned the mayor of Tema, we have petitioned a lot of the stakeholders in this matter. And I want to say it emphatically that we are not going to allow this. If we have to go to court to stop the transaction, we shall do so. We will not sit down for TDC to take us for granted and to sell every little space that is available, assuming that there is an emergency. Do we have an assembling point? No. If these places are sold out, and they are doing this and giving it to your cronies and party faithfuls and government appointees under bizarre circumstances, So I think that these are some of the issues that, and indeed, I'm happy that John Mahama has promised that if he assumes the reins of power in 2025, he's going to investigate all these sales and repossess where there need be some of the lands that have been sold under bizarre and weird circumstances.
I guess and that was, you have a lot of lands you can point to.
Definitely.
that you believe should be taken back.
Definitely, my brother.
I see. But I'm going back to the dynamics you talked about. First of all, you are not contesting against Carlos Ahenkorah anymore.
Yeah.
He decided not to go. A new face is coming up. Does that not inspire maybe? Because if you are looking for Carlos Ahenkorah to deal with, you are not getting Carlos Ahenkorah. So you have a new face. If this is a place that the NPP has consistently won, or the fact that they are putting a new candidate up, then offer perhaps your chances further.
No, unfortunately, let me put my cards on the table. This is somebody who has just appeared first time.
Okay.
On the political scene. Okay. He has never contested it before. Compared to me, this is my third time. I've contested national elections 2 times. This is my third time.
Okay.
So the people already know me. They are familiar with me. They know the homeboy. You understand? But this is a new face.
Okay.
So first of all, you appreciate that some form of sympathy will come in. Oh, lawyer has been there. Lawyer has come several times. This time, let's give it to him. You appreciate that even from the records. A lot of our president contested 3 times. Even this current president, he contested 3 times before he was able to win. Atta Mills contested 3 times before he was able to win. So this is going to follow history, because the point is that lawyer has done it first time, second time. This time around, let's give him the support. The fact that he has tried consistently means that he has something to offer to the people. So let's give. Now, apart from that, you know, this candidate is also the Carlos's boy. You understand? Okay. He was the Carlos's boy. So if the boss did not have anything to offer, what would his boy come and offer to the people of Tema West? I think that he has nothing to offer. And of course, you appreciate that we are also looking at somebody that is coming on board with some clout. You understand? And like I said, I have been around for a long time, being a legal practitioner. I've practiced my law all around and across Tema. I've lived all my life in Tema. This is somebody that was not born in Tema. This is somebody that was brought somewhere. So you appreciate that the advantages are to my favor, or in my favor for that matter. And the other thing that is even remarkable that you need to take notice of is that this is a candidate who contested for chairmanship and lost.
You contested for chairmanship within the MPP?
MPP and lost in Tema West. He contested for the chairmanship within the MPP in Tema West and lost. It means that his own party rejected him. And this is the person they've brought to come and stand as an MP. So if his own party...
Perhaps it's not suited for chairmanship. They feel that it should be MP.
But you see, the point, the argument is that if your own party people think that you are not even fit to become the chairman, because as for the chairman, you only control the party people. If you are not fit to lead your own party, how can you be fit to lead the whole of Tema? You understand? So that is the analogy. You are not fit to lead your own party. You cannot be fit to lead the whole of Tema, because the whole of Tema is a larger group. The MPP is only a subset of the whole of Tema. So if you cannot lead, they don't believe in you. They think that you don't have the clout or the skill to lead the party. Then you cannot have the skill to lead the whole of Tema West. You understand? So for me, the fact that a new face has come is even a blessing to me, because I think that I have a huge advantage going into these elections, and there is no doubt that indeed we are going to win this time around.
Okay. When you're talking about the dynamics, you said there's the periphery, there's the Mamin.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, you said the NDC strength is in the periphery.
Yes.
Communities. So the Mamin is where the NDC struggles.
Yes.
Yes. What is it about the Mamin that makes the National Democratic Congress struggle there? Of course, you said you are from there, but mind you, you contested in 2012, 2016. This is your 3rd time.
Yeah.
So if it was about them looking for somebody from there alone, if it was good enough, you would have won the first time. You didn't win the first time, you didn't win the second time, the 3rd time. So what is the dynamic that makes the NDC fail in Temamin?
Okay, good. So I'll answer your question in 2 folds. one fold is that, the elections in 2012, it was Tema Central, it was not Tema West. That is why I contested. So what it means is that for Tema West, I've gone once, and this was 2016. Now, the dynamics in respect of 2016...
At the time, Tema West existed, right?
Yes. At the time, in 2012, there was only Tema West. There was no Tema Central.
Okay.
So it was after the 2012 elections, going into the 2016 elections, that No, it was after the Tema Central was created going into 2012 elections. Tema Central was created going into 2012 elections. So I became the first candidate for Tema Central. Yes. But what actually happened was that I contested the primaries in Tema West. And then I came second. We were 5. Honorable Pusampofu was the first. I came second.
Contested.
Yes. So after that contest, going into the 2012 elections, there was a redemarcation, and Tema Central was created. And because I came second, then the party said, then I should go and stand, because it was carved out of Tema West. You understand? So then that's why I became the candidate. So 2016 was my first time of becoming a candidate in Tema West. Yes. And 2016, the dynamics were different. You appreciate that 2016 NDC was in power. 2016, we lost the elections. 2016, there was a lot of apathy in the NDC, which also contributed to our loss. 2016, there were a lot of lies that was peddled by this government, that changed the minds of people across the length and breadth of this country. And Tema West, we had our fair share, you understand? So the dynamics of 2016 was different. Now, going into 2024, the people promised so much for the people of Ghana, and also promised so much for the people of Tema West. One of the things that even this incumbent MP promised was to solve a sewage problem that has been perennial, to the people of Tema West, especially the Tema Main area, and the issue of the sewage problem in Tema Main is a critical issue that has been there for years. And this incumbent MP, got the nod, also based on the promise that he was going to resolve this problem. But believe you me, since he won, nothing has been done about it. You understand? So the people are disappointed. They believe that they have voted for one party for 28 years. They are not seeing the results. So this time they are going for change. So the dynamics going into 2024 is so different. And believe you me,
So you don't think what has been at play for 28 years will be at play in 2020 this year?
Exactly, because you see, if you look at the results for 2020, you realize that it played, but not to the extent that was expected. It played because 2016 we lost by almost about 14,000, and then 2020 we lost with only 2,000. You understand? And you will be surprised to know that the Tema Main, which happens to our Waterloo, we won. Our votes there appreciated a lot, because the people are beginning to understand and appreciate where we are coming from. You understand? So we are believing that going into 2024, the situation is going to get better, especially when they have one of their own. And the thing is that when I contested in 2016, the people were confronted with a situation where they should choose between one of their own and their party. They should either choose one of their own or they should choose their party, because like we said, the area is dominated by the MPP, and I was one of their own. So should they choose their party or they should choose one of their own? At that time, NDC had become unpopular going into the 2016 election. So a lot of the places that I went, the people used to tell me, "Oh, Charlie, you there, we know you are our homeboy. We like you, but it's your party. We like you, but it's your party." You understand? But now the table has turned. The table has turned. Now when you go, they are telling you that, "Oh, these people, they have disappointed us. Now we want a new face. Now we are giving it to our homeboy because he is one of us, and we know that when we give it to our homeboy, he's coming to help the situation." So this sewage problem has been one of the major problems in Tema Main, that this MP came to power riding on promises to come and salvage the situation. Indeed, the people are confronted with a situation where, excuse me to say, if somebody flushes their toilet, it appears in another person's bedroom. That is the situation in which we find ourselves. Because, yes, that's very bad. Because these sewage lines were done during Nkrumah's days, Now population has increased. There's a lot of pressure on it. But the lines have not been checked. Nothing has been done about it. And it's very worrying. If you walk around some of the neighborhood, BBC, even Community 5, the sewage lines are passing through gutters and there is stench all over the place. You understand? And it's a very, very disturbing situation. And for me, I've told the people of Tema West, especially those in these areas, that if by the grace of God I become the MP, we are going to solve this problem very, very simply. And what am I going to do? The area is one that has a lot of companies. There is Dangote, there is Jata Cement, there is MPS, there is Gapuha, a lot of big, big institutions. By way of corporate social responsibility, we can raise funds, we can levy these companies. Okay. And let me tell you something. You know, when MPS was built, MPS is very close to Committee 3. The community lobbied that now you are located on our land. You need to do something for the community. Okay. MPS, by virtue of this, took steps and they built a basketball court, a volleyball court, a recreational center for the community as part of their corporate social responsibility. So if we live in a community, we have all these companies around and we have problem with our sewage. Can't we ride on these huge companies and get levy them as by way of social corporate responsibility to help change some of the main lines that is causing the problem? It can be done in a jiffy. And me being a lawyer, I can champion that cause. I believe that this has not been done because of failure of leadership. If we have a leader who is visionary, who is committed to the cause, like lawyer Jameson, who was born and bred there, who has his family living there at the moment, I share their pain and I share their grief. So whatever we are going to do to ensure that we are able to get support to change these main lines that has become a problem and a death trap for the people, we will make sure that we do it.
Great. I ask you that question because there are people who have suggested that in a place like Tema West, for example, coming on the back of the NDC is a definite loss for you. There is no way you're going to win on the ticket of the NDC. In fact, they said the strongest performance ever seen was with Honorable Samuel Oswampofo, who came very close. And he was already a stalwart within national politics, but he couldn't even win the seat. You're saying that that suggestion is incorrect, that all you need is MPP, you win.
My brother, I wish that you do some studies there regarding the poll system there. I'm sitting here today to tell you that come January 2025, lawyer Jameson will be declared the MP for Tema West. Okay. And the reasons are very simple. I think that I gave you some narration regarding the dynamics over the years. Last 2016, we lost by a margin of almost 14,000. And then 2020, we lost with only 2,000. What does it tell you? And indeed, one of the things that I've brought on board as a new dynamic to the twist is that I am somebody who was born and bred at Committee 2 BBC, lived in Committee 5, and now live at Committee 3. So that is an additional advantage that I come on board with. And I'm saying that in 2016, this dynamic did not work in my favor because, one, it was my first time. Two, because the party had become unpopular. And three, because the people felt that they should choose over their party over me. Now their party has disappointed them. That's the gospel truth. Their party has disappointed. If you go around the area, you see a lot of youth stranded, sitting under trees, playing draft, playing just loitering, having nothing. They have no hope. They have no future. They are disappointed. They are stranded. So now they have made up their minds that never again.
It's so sad when
never again, my brother.
It's
never
so sad
again.
Listening to this from Tema and the picture you paint about the ports, the situation at the ports, where people are basically avoiding our ports and going elsewhere because of the high tariffs, the fact that a lot of young men who are seeking jobs are not getting those jobs and everything. And moving from Tema to national politics, because whatever happens in your constituency is most of the time depending on what is happening at the top. Do you worry about where we are headed to as a country in terms of where the economy is and how that then trickles down to constituencies, places like Tema who are supposed to be flourishing and doing well?
Yeah, it's a worrying situation, my brother. You know, it's important to stress that this is a country that needs a future. It's important that we're able to get a future for the youth. The future of this country is dependent on the youth. If the youth are not well equipped, if the youth do not have a future, if the youth are not, provisions are not made for the youth, then this country doesn't have a future. And that is quite a worrying situation, because if you have our youth stranded, they have nothing to do, they have no hopes, they have no future. It means this country doesn't have a future. And that is why, indeed, our flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he did a stakeholder engagement with the harbor, all the stakeholders. He had an encounter with them, and all these issues came up. And believe you me, all these stakeholders are complaining about this. The Ghana Institute of Freight Forward has complained about these high tariffs. I have even had the opportunity to sue GAPOHA in court in respect of these tariffs at a point in time. Yes, we were in court.
You took them to court?
Yes, I took them to court in respect of these tariffs, because even the processes and procedures that needed to be followed for them to arrive on these tariffs was not complied with. Okay. So I took them to court. You understand? But at a point, they indicated that they are willing to do the right thing, and therefore we should settle the matter, which we amicably settled. But the fact of the matter is that the tariffs are high compared to our neighboring ports, and that is throwing us out of business. And that is a worrying situation, because you appreciate that the harbor, when it comes to revenue generation in Ghana, maybe the harbor is about 60% of the whole of Ghana. And therefore, if we are confronted with a situation where we are losing business from the harbors, then it's quite a worrying situation. So when the former president came, he engaged the stakeholders, and we have come to a conclusion that when we assume the reins of power, we are going to review the tariffs and make sure that we become competitive with our neighboring ports, so that we will not be thrown out of business. You understand? So these are developments that are very, very worrying. And for me, this tells you that, you know, this present government have no ideas. They are bankrupt with ideas. And that is why we are calling for change. That John Dramani Mahama, who is an experienced hand, who has done it before, he's not a driver's mate who wants to become a driver. He is a driver already. He has the experience. And therefore, he's the safest pair of hands that we have going into the 2024 elections. And for me, I believe that this country is stranded. This country is engulfed in a state of hopelessness. It is important that there should be a change in governance. Change in governance is imperative at this point in time. And the safest pair of hands we have is John Dramani Mahama. And indeed, when it comes to Tema, this is the time for change. This is the time that we also need an NDC MP in Tema West. And I want to promise the people of Tema that if they give me the mandate, I'm going to work hard. The concerns that they have raised regarding the fact that their MPs cannot be seen, regarding the fact that their MPs are not available and accessible, regarding the fact that the MPs are not helping to bring development to their area, the MPs are not solution-oriented and resource-oriented. Lawyer James Enu is going to turn the situation around and make sure that all these are made available to them in terms of availability, accessibility, resource-oriented leadership, consensus building, regular engagement with the community, to make sure that we are able to work together to bring some relief to the people of Tema West.
Let me conclude then by asking you, and we have to bring this to a close. I want to, is your party, yourself, prepared for 2024? The election. We are here. 6 months to the election. Are you ready?
Rather, that is a critical question. Indeed. You see, if you go around communities, you go around, you know, all what the people tell you is that, my brothers, we are going to vote for you. Are you ready to protect our votes? We are going, it keeps on. Everywhere I go, that's what we hear. We are going to vote for you. Are you ready to protect your vote? But even for us in Tema West, it is quite a worrying situation, experience for us, especially because of what happened in 2020. You know, 2020, Tema West, at the collation center, the results was held up for almost 4 days or even 5. And there was a lot that happened during these days at the collation center. We were confronted with a situation where a sitting MP mobilized military personnel, soldiers, to invade the collation center.
Really?
To drive everybody away, including our candidates. Hijack the Coalition Center, and then the results was declared. That is the experience we had in Tema West in 2020.
So is it possible that they voted for you?
Yes, exactly. So a lot of people believe that 2020 we won the seat, but it was manipulated because the incumbent MP with the government in power used the security services, to turn the situation around, to intimidate us, and to get a lot of people to run away from the Coalition Center, and then they did their own thing. But we want to assure them that this time around, we are ready, we are prepared. Indeed, right from the police stations to the Coalition Center, even the processes leading to the election itself, all the election management processes, limited registration, voter transfer, we have participated fully and made sure that we have taken advantage of all those processes. And we want to assure them that every single vote of the NDC is going to count. And we are not going to leave any space for manipulation, any space for rigging. That is going to be a thing of the past. That is why our flag bearer said that we are going to mark them boot for boot. And this time around, Tema West, we are going to ensure that what happened in 2020, it is not going to repeat itself, because we are putting in place all the necessary measures to avert that situation again.
I want to thank you for coming in, and it's been a pleasure seeing you. In fact, this has been in the West, so I don't want to tell you what happened back doors, but it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Fantastic. And I wish you all the best, and I hope we'll have one more conversation at least before you go for the elections. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. It's a privilege, being with you this morning. Thank you.
This is Jefferson San, who says great delivery lawyer Enu. There's also my Kunalis Johnson Clifford always sends me a message, but he's been much more active. He said he's watching us from Ajay Kojo. It's the Florida of Tema West constituency. That's what he calls Ajay Kojo. I never knew. Says lawyer James Enu is a new dawn, people-centered personality, and a game changer. All hands on board. Thank you very much for that message. Jefferson says, lawyer Enu, I am a BBC boy photographer, and I'm sharing your plan for the area. You surely get my vote, sir. There's Kunalis again. Excellent delivery of all standards. Lawyer James Enu is the new dawn. Papa Ray says the solution for him to win is one. Very interesting things. But I'll read it because it's from there. It says, stop wearing a cap when you walk through town. People want to connect with your face. Triple up on your posters in town with bigger ones, not those postcard sizes on the light post. 3, make yourself available to the people in Bachona, Cambodia, Lashibi, and Ajay Kojo area. Over concentration on the C2 and C3 or community 2 and 3 is too much. 4, get a trained protection unit to back the polling agents and the Coalition Center.
Wow,
would you like to react to that?
Yeah, I think that there are very legitimate concerns that has been raised. I've taken notice of them, and I'm going to work on them. Indeed, some of the concerns are in the right direction. Okay. Of course, the challenge has always been whether to work harder in your weak area or to make sure your stronghold. That has always been the challenge.
You did what you have before you go for what you don't
exactly.
have. So I think you should, yes, you should.
So I consolidate what I have and then go for what I don't have. Yes,
that is his advice. Lydia Camp says we can't even get a small fried tilapia again because Ramsey side is truly gone. And there's Sechi Saint says Tema Community 5 Harbour City Park sold. In fact, whilst we were talking about it, people were just writing the things that have been sold whilst we were talking. That Lydia Camp James must retrieve all those land back to the communities. There's Kunalis Ajay Kojo Dam is gone. They have sold it out. Why? MPP never again. This is state capture. Sechi Sen said if the MPP PC, that's Boachi, Ghana, even 3% of the Tema West vote, I will stop voting. Even his stronghold, which is BBC, will vote against him. That's high confidence.
Yes, that's very true. I'm telling you.
That's high confidence.
Indeed, this time around, we are going to win Tema Main. I promise you. We're going to win Tema Main. NDC has never won Tema Main before, but this time around, we are winning Tema Main. And I'm saying this on authority because I know the developments that are coming up in the Tema main area.
And good morning to Engineer Joshua Quist. He came in the company of Engineer Joshua Quist.
That's my manager.
Yes. I see. Whilst, nice to meet you and good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, so thank you. I hope we get to do this one more time. Yes, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. Lawyer James Enu is NDC 2024 parliamentary candidate for Tema West. I have to take a break. When we'll come back, we'll conclude the program.
Head. Icon Vision Center is at it again. Oh. They are giving a 50% discount on everything, including glasses and glaucoma tests to everyone 60 years and above. And this is actually an everyday thing. Oh.
In Kenya Milele, KGO is 60 years kaya. Ni ote third Icon Vision Center. Chimeno abaha wo fi
oye wo togo. First no, na mahama wo so no, na o ma eye duty ni e de anwane ba. 12 CDs. They say no say and gallon. Yanya duty 2 million. They say crowd us.
Atayare kanofori ataminu mienu kase ni yemu nyoma nyina asai. Akufado timi frɛ kanofori ataso omre meeting wo Flagstaff House. Akufado betena wa bebo be fo anwumre kwa na kanofori atankoi. Wabako meeting no Dr. Baomia kan bie no kanofori atatimi kase my friend keep quiet and stop that thing. I'm telling you on authority. From an insider report, Ghana Penifon Bebrehi, MPP Penifon Bebrehi, Kanoforia Tana, Essay, Akufado, Memo, Dr. Baomia, Wama, and a poster boy, where you're John to a month and your Wama, you're not watching it. Kanoforia Tam Kufado, one. A tupa, we are a very letter no Kufado Choba, you know. Now, I the tone of the letter. The letter had to be a Kufado instructing Kanoforia to go. Kanoforiata Bakacha is here or diamond, your box site, you're good. We are there and we have to be respected by the and the fire he could see here, and for that matter, we won't go to IMF. Now, one can create the Bible quotation, like when Joshua and Aquaphobia use Bible quotation. If someone was a man for no Jimmy, almost so in your Bible, so a man for the Veggie, walk and ready. And you can offer Sabakumi and Sabia, no the Bible quotation at Tatua. Nadia to Obama, some may as of Juma. Akufado Ninu Kanoforiata to Obama, some may as of Juma. Atayare, Kanoforiata Minumia Case, Niyamun Yoman Yanasai. Akufado to me Frek Kanoforiata so omre meeting with Flagstaff House. Akufado betena wa bebo be for Numerakwana Kanoforiata Ankoi. Wabako meeting no Dr. Baomia can be no Kanoforiata to catch my friend. Keep quiet and stop that thing. I'm telling you on authority. From an insider report, Ghana Penifon Bebrehi, MPP Penifon Bebrehi, Kanoforia Tana, Essay, Akufado, Memo, Dr. Baomia, Wama, and a poster boy, where you're John to a month and your pay, Wama, you're not watching it. Kanoforia Tam Kufado, one. A tupa, you are a very letter no Kufado Choba, you know. Now, I share the tone of the letter.
Tablet, you know, it is a paracetamol. And ye, we ba kusena the tune so ma say surun so ebura na se pipe bon water no. Ekumu amo a won so ni mu nyina ama enso no eni te krogen nti de obroni frɛ no eye waterborne disease ne de unya bi da ai enti uhia aquataps no bi na no pai sanso na mpanifo de eye aquataps food safe aba na mpacho aquataps food safe no ye de horo nuaba ne atosode ho fruit and vegetables ene de horo ho ena aquataps surface disinfectant ne so aba enu ye de pepa mia horo te say door handles ene air floor baby bia obetimi de bia pepa fe enti we de mesre mo Ghana de hye eye restaurants, hotels, schools, water production companies, offices and homes obi bia ehia ne ma miensan ebi na ope bia to a Ghana fa na ba bia no say ye pharmacy supermarket and say chemical shop bia ben no ubawura ho a onsa ebetimi akabi why obetimi afrem 24 ewa ahomatrofo yi eso 020 90 77726 020 90 77726 and answer 05016 94275 05016942275 sanso ena Kononga Limited no de ebebre na ena wo adwama so na Kunlunga Limited no dia kama papa womo akotobi aswahwe no edi ho adanse edi akere wa wasokura bebu ena no pe dia me no ehwehwe ho nkoma na se de mebo ho dawru edi akere no eye mema no aduro no aha se me ka mema no aduro no ho aduro ko mo friend Mr. Kill aha mo Mr. Kill lampacho Mr. Kill aduro no Kunlunga Limited for ene diaba mema yi mamusisi no koto dwa ho den na munya sa ho den na mo choke wa one side dia pa cho de aka nyina moa modia. Good for male vitality. It increases men's energy and strengthens waist and knees. Mr. Q no. Open Mr. Q adoni bi ato Ghana for na ba bia wo nsabetimi akabi. Say pharmacies chemical na say heba shop bia ben wa feature mo ahoro no so no ukodi dwa ho na bo wura ba bia mutotonto dondo no ho na wo ka se wo me say open Mr. Q adoni bia onsa ebetimi akabi wate. Ebia na pese woni Kunlunga Limited fodin sa so unu ahoro no ubisa nchiremu edefa ho a obetimi afro mahomatrofo yi eso 0244 139 176 0244 139 176 and I say 0204 139 176 0204 139 176. Make Mr. Kiwa no I just want to say be a real man.
Well, in fact, there are many messages that have come in during the time Lawyer James Enu sat here. In fact, on Facebook, so many messages. But this is from Jerry Ajay, who is in Tema Community 11. Says, good morning, Sana. Excellent presentation so far by my former football teammate at Sakasaka Park, Tema Community 2. I want to add my voice to what Lawyer James Enu, the next incoming member of Parliament for Tema West constituency in the upcoming elections, has enumerated. The once harbour city of Tema has systematically been ruined by the leadership of the MPP over the years, and most of the things he outlined are the things we are witness to. The time for change is now, and Lawyer James Enu is the right man for the job. George Amwa is also saying, good morning, watching from London. Lawyer, may our Lord be with you. There's also the love says vibrant lady strongly behind you, lawyer Afa Mahama Afa. Dennis Sefa, the parliamentary candidate of the MPP, is not a resident of Tema West. So those are some of the messages. In fact, there are a lot. To be very frank, there are a lot of messages. Two things to okay, so first, you know Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliance needs such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know we have laser television, gas cookers, washing machine, smartphone, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, just to name a few? Well, as one of the best electronic companies in Ghana, Hisense stands by its products and offer up to 5-year manufacturer defect warranty with Hisense showrooms across Ghana. Visit any of our showrooms around Accra and also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrady, Takwa, Mankesim, Boase, Sunyani, Techima, Tamale, Hohwe, Koforidua to purchase any Hisense products at the best price on the market. Hisense best for quality, best for durability, best for energy efficiency, best for affordability, best for style, and best for technology. For further inquiries, call Hisense on 0302 550000. Visit their website hisense.com.gh. Also, don't forget to follow Hisense on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Hisense everyday prices for everyday people. You can find their showrooms Greater Accra. They are East Legon, Keseman, Achimotomo, North Industrial Area, Accra Opera Square, Accra Tudu, Dansoman, La Paz. Dansoman, La Paz separately. From when they sound like there's La Paz in Dansoman. No, they are too far apart. West Hills Mall, Broadcasting, Kaswa, Bachuna, Junction Mall, Tema Community 1, Tema Community 25. Outside Accra, you can find them at Kumasi City Mall, Kumasi Edum Post Office, Kumasi Tafo, Mankesim, Takrady, Takwa, Obuasi, Koforidua, Hohwe, Sinyani, Techiman, and of course Tamale. And also don't forget to cook like a pro with Mortar spices. Mortar's got lots of tasty flavors for every meal. Yeah. Their main products are seasoning powder, bouillon cubes, and natural spices. Make your food yummy with Mortas seasoning powder and spices. They make cooking easier and more fun. Choose from 3 yummy flavors: chicken, beef, and shrimp. They'll make your food taste even better. Get Mortas products at your local market or store. For bulk purchase or inquiries, call Mortas on 0244 599 661 or 0247 151877. Cook like a boss with Mortas spices. But tomorrow, one thing I can promise you is that we'll return to this matter of the finance minister. But whilst we played both the finance minister and Attorney General's office, Attorney General's comment, a few comments came through. This is Eben from Kwabenya. Eben says Ghana for sale under incompetence President Kufuor Bawumia's watch. Instead of them protecting and making sure they give us better governance, they rather looting and sharing our properties as if there's no tomorrow. What a wicked party in government. Let's vote for change to secure our properties come December 7. Sends in regards to Elikplu Makorogu for Domi Kwabenya, also to Louisa Kwachi. Louisa has become very popular. Well, good morning to Madam Elikplu Makorogu. Good morning to Louisa. Dr. Samson Obedapia also said, this finance minister is worse than Ken Ofori-Atta. So sad listening to him. So we should not let anyone talk us down. That is, economy has been run down. Did Ken Ofori-Atta not tell us to be proud people that won't go to IMF? I mean, Anta is shamelessly bogus finance minister. I am sad as a Ghanaian this morning. So after all the things they have outdone the NDC, the city dollar is where now? What's the cost of living and cost of goods? Thank you very, very much. Okay, so good morning to Emmanuel Dosu. Just to conclude, this is the daily graphic. Eurobond holders forgive $4.7 billion, $4.4 billion also in cash flow relief. This Emmanuel Bruce, a story written by Emmanuel Bruce. Ghana has reached an agreement with Eurobond holders to restructure commercial debts of $13.1 billion. The agreement, which will see Eurobond holders take a haircut of 37% or $4.7 billion in addition to delayed repayment, represents the third and final step in the country's external debt restructuring negotiations. The Committee of Holders of Ghana's Eurobonds, the committee which announced this yesterday, said a proposed agreement on the restructuring of the Eurobonds will resolve Ghana's default on Eurobonds in a manner that provided significant cash flow and debt stock relief to support the country's economic recovery in the context of the International Monetary Fund-backed extended credit facility program. Alongside debt relief, the committee said it recognized that the most important factors to support Ghana's fiscal and debt sustainability going forward was sustained economic policy implementation, to bolster macroeconomic stability, improve the investor environment, and institutionalize fiscal credibility. Quote, in particular, the committee welcomes the government's commitment to reinstate and implement an amended Fiscal Responsibility Act. The non-financial provisions included in the agreement in principle, such as the semi-annual disclosure of public debts, the most favored creditor clause, and loss reinstatement clause, are part of the package of measures to normalize relations with bondholder investors and to progress towards restoring Ghana's international market access. The statement from the committee indicated. Now, the story continues. Towards securing the agreement, the government was advised by Lazafre and Hogan Lovells, acting respectively as financial and legal advisors with the steering committee of the Ad hoc Creditor Committee of International Bondholders, being advised by Rothschild, and continues. So that's the story. we'll try and get you some further explanation, clarification of exactly what this means to Ghana. Is there anything to celebrate? I think Honorable Setekbe, when he spoke to us this morning, asked the very painful question we should all be asking ourselves. Is this something to be happy about? Now, imagine when John Mahama and his administration was going to the government, at the time when we were all on their neck, then they woke up one morning and start telling us that, oh, we should be happy. We should be happy. We are at the IMF, and the IMF program is going so well. What would we have done? How would we have responded? How do we celebrate the fact that we are deep in debt and somebody has decided that, oh, your situation is so bad, I'll help you. I'll forgive you some of your debt and give you time to pay back the rest? How is that something to celebrate? Is that not something that should call for reflection, for us to find a way to pull back from a situation that will lead us to that point where we become a sad, a sorry state of affairs? Well, so there are many questions to be asked. What the finance minister said. There was so much on our table this morning, so we have not spent enough time to go through most of the things. Tomorrow we'll spend some time going through what the finance minister said and what the implications of that is within in studio with my colleagues, and then we'll have some resource persons on the line who will also share their views with us. Hopefully we'll have in studio tomorrow the Volta Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mauto Agbavito, to say some thoughts with us. But before that, we'll have that conversation on what the finance minister said. We're done for today. I am Sena Nombo. The show is produced by Eric Boatem, Patrick Asford Boedu. And of course, Mufta Adamu is back at 30 minutes past 11 with Lawyer. The two of them will bring you Gold Talk Sport with Muta in the seats. Don't miss it for anything. Then at 1 p.m., there will be Pampaso with Ransford Kwesi Boache. My co-host are the animal rights lawyer Stephen Miracle, and Nancy Amelewis Kekele Bimbe. Facebook Live was produced by Alaska B. Do make a date with us tomorrow on the Gold Morning Conversation. Don't miss it for anything.
One station. Accra 2022, 23, 24, and more. We don't chat, back live. Commercial free. Just mid-morning show.
Oh, we love what you have in Bad River. Mid-morning show.
The Mid-Morning Show.
Yes.
90.5.
Good morning, my neighbors. On Children by River.
Experience quality
Radio station.
Put your hands up.
Brave.
Yes.
Powerful. Morning vibes and more. Accra 90.5.